So we will be talking about how to measure MySQL performance in really easy ways, not to dig in deeply, just to get some signs of bad things that can happen with MySQL, which happen all the time. And let's just meet each other. My name is Vlad. I do MySQL for a long time. I enjoy performance consulting. I do some operations for the customers, and it's really amazing how sometimes you can prevent some bad things just looking inside a little bit. So, but it happens. It happens for all of us. Good when it happens, like when you receive alert in the middle of the night from a pager duty. It's a good way. It's a good way. A little bit worst way when your boss is calling in the middle of the night or in the middle of the day when you're on the beach or whatever you are. And the worst case when a customer calls you and tell, okay, my website is not working for like 3 hours. And you don't really want that at all times. You just want to avoid these things. So how to do that? And just by the way, how many of you get the calls from a boss? So you know what I'm talking about. Well, and it's a question how to structure your work with a MySQL. You can be reactive or you can be proactive. You can react with to alerts that you receive, or you just can dig in deeply a little bit day by day to just to see how MySQL acting, how data set grow up. So you will not get any issues like out of a clean blue sky. You will still can get issues, but we're looking to prevent them. So MySQL has lots of metrics that you can take a look on, and there are lots of metrics on the system side. And let's just well, basically you can log in and see how much CPU is utilized, how much I/O is utilized. You probably have some graphing tools. How many of you have Cacti or Graphite or something like this? Just take a look, guys. Take a look how many hands do that. Do that actually, because it's a good thing. It gives you idea how MySQL acting while you're not working. It's a really good stuff when you see, okay, there is a spike, I/O spike in the morning. Probably it's related to my cron job that I run. So I probably need to fix that or move it to some other node, or just I don't know, just remove the cron job, replace it by something else. Problem with those graphing and stuff that it doesn't give you any idea of if it's bad or good. Like you have 10% CPU utilization. Is it good? Well, probably because CPU is not saturated. But at the same time, you may have everything just locked out, and nothing works because of locking in place. And that's because CPU can't be used. So you need to look a little bit deeply into what's going on in MySQL side. And let's just see what MySQL has in this matter. So we probably need to understand the general load of the MySQL instance. We probably want to understand our read-write rate. So how much we write into the database, how much we're reading. Can we actually move out from MySQL at some point just to replace with some better technology for your current workload? I/O utilization is a key. If you have I/O saturated, you will not be able to do anything to serve any queries. Locks and waits can give you lots of pain, and connectivity issues comes up unexpectedly, very rare, but unexpectedly. And of course, it's queries. Queries are all in all databases, and it's not MySQL which is slow. It's the queries. I know that people tell him this all the time. So about the general load, you probably want to know how much query is MySQL service per second. And when is the peak time? When is the slow time? Because on the slow time you can perform some changes. You can do some operations without interfering with high production traffic. Read-write ratio can help you to understand how to tune MySQL properly and when to scale, when it's time to scale. It also can tell that your query cache is not working anymore, and you probably need to do some more caching on the application side. And the more you write, the more I/O is saturated. So you probably will need to know these numbers just as a DBA. I/O pressure. There are few. Well, there are lots of metrics on MySQL site that related to I/O pressure, but let's just we don't have much time, so let's just talk about really important ones. Handler read R&D is related to random reads. Mostly on MyISM affected as well. I don't really remember about INIDB stuff. I think guys will help me about that. Yeah, but it's for MyISM, but for INIDB it's a little bit different. So for how much data INIDB writes these two parameters can show you, like INIDB data writes and INIDB data reads. There are two others, written and read, which is first two is about how much I/O requests done to read and write the data, and another two is how it's a size. So, and you probably need to focus on the I/O number of I/O operations, because it's especially if you don't use SSD, it can be a problem. Like any usual disk can serve you like what? Yeah, I love that guy. So you usually need to focus on the I/O number of I/Os per second, just because it's vital. If you use SSD, it's more relaxed, but usual disk can serve like 200 I/O per second, no more, and you can easily stuck here. Another thing is how INIDB login works, how much log operations per second it utilizes, its I/O operations, its number of I/O operations as well. Now we go into the logs, and logs are really painful. We just had a situation when databases went down because of the deadlocks. So INIDB log weights. I think it's this is a mistake. It's about I/O. How many times MySQL waiting on the log until log is flushed. So if you see non-zero value here, you probably need to fix that. It's a bad sign. Immediate logs is still okay. It's trying to MySQL trying to log table because of the different reasons, especially for MyISM. For MyISM, every writes on the table, every update, every insert or delete will log table. But for INIDB, locking should not be, it's not that easy. You need to alter table to completely lock it. And in new version, not every alter performing the complete table lock. But you can still get table locked and unoperational, and this is really bad. In this case, to see more details about INIDB logs, especially dead logs, you need to look in show engine INIDB status. It will show you recent dead logs. It will give you idea how which tables affected and so on. Networking is rarely a problem. So most of the time, someone said, "Okay, this is a network issue. Let's just file support ticket to the network." It's probably not true. Network is really stable, but you still need to check it to make sure that everything is fine. Like Mysql has several network-related, several related metrics, like how many connections do we have, like max used connections, or just connections, current connections to the Mysql, and you probably want to look on those graphs on a daily basis. Threads created give you idea of how many threads, how many users connected, and Mysql has to create a thread to serve it. So if you have big number here, you probably need to increase thread pool, thread cache on the Mysql side. Sometimes you can you want to see how much clients has been rejected. Sometimes it's okay, like you do not close connection properly, and wait timeout expired, and Mysql just closing connection on its side. Sometimes it's not that good, especially for when users are not authenticated. For dedicated hosting, if you don't have firewall set up properly, you can get some unwanted visitors, and this is a good thing to check it. Well, not every day, but still. And most of the issues are query related. So those things that we talk about is just general metrics of the Mysql. Sometimes you can say, okay, it's like average temperature in a hospital, and you will be right, but it still gives you idea of how Mysql acting inside. For the queries, you can narrow down issue pretty much instantly, and it will give you a lot of information. Like if you have there is select scan metric in the Mysql side. If you see that number per second, if it's not zero, this is probably main risk for your Mysql server, because this is a full table scan. When you have small data set, it's okay, it's very fast, everything is in memory. But as your data grow, you can sometimes just have Mysql stuck on the scanning full table, and it happens because you can miss you can miss index on the table. You need to create it, and everything will be much better. Sometimes your query created just not properly, like sometimes you just Mysql can't handle the queries like this properly. Maybe you use something like this, like infix indexing is not supported by Mysql. You can only, with B-tree, you can only use prefixes and then star. Sometimes and this is my favorite. This is my favorite, and this is a really nasty thing, because rand will be calculated for each row in a table, and then Mysql will sort the whole data set. This is really good query if you want to kill MySQL, especially if you have several terabytes. Just try it. Not in production. Not in production. I want to be responsible for this. And even worse, if you have non-zero select full join, which means that you have join and the second table has full table scan for every row in the first table. And the good thing is you probably, you will notice this just right away because everything will be stuck and the users start complaining really, really fast. Temporary table is another nasty thing, and I'm running out of time. This behavior can be created because of the several issues, like if you use group by, if you use subqueries, if you use distinct plus order by. In a good case, everything will be in memory. In the worst case, it will go to the disk and it will be really, really, really slow. So generally, metrics are not enough. You need to take a look on the queries. And just summarizing that stuff, well, we need to do system reviews. We need to do the health checks like only on a daily basis. If it's not daily basis, it's at least on a weekly. You need to know your system well. You need to know your system better than MySQL does. In that case, you will not hit any issues unexpectedly. And well, walking through, I do MySQL health checks for a long time, and it's really boring. It's like, look on this graph, look on this graph, that's okay, that's okay, that's okay. And it really takes time. So there are tools to automate it. I know that Percona guys created a nice tool that can show you most of the information you need on a daily basis. I know Vivid Cortex provides advanced statistics for MySQL stuff, but it requires to install something on your system and sends data out. For myself, I created a poor man health check script that collects all the information like once a day and sends me email with all the information. I'm not saying you should use it or you should try that. There are lots of tools that already exist. I just created it for myself, and so far I like it. You can go to the GitHub and take a look on it if you like. So what else to do? The main thing is to know how MySQL acting, and you want to buy a good book that created by Percona guys and Baron Schwartz. It's worth it. It's really, really big, but it's worth it. Every single page. There is MySQL troubleshooting book by Sveta Smirnova. She's here. Ask her for a discount. Yeah. And finally, you can just walk through the slides and take a look, compare what your MySQL shows to make sure everything is fine. Thanks a lot. Any questions? No questions. Okay, if you're shy about asking me questions about your bright and shiny installation, you can do it later, like out of the room. Thank you. Come on. Let's have a fight there. Let's have a fight there. I'm kidding. I'm joking.